Wake Up with Patti Catter.
I love this show.
I never miss an episode. It's the best.
I turn it on and turn it up.
You're listening to and watching Wake Up with Patti Catter, and I am your hostess, Patti Catter. Today's show is sponsored by Building Homes for Heroes, so go to their website, buildinghomesforheroes.org. And today I have a military veteran on the show. Surprise, surprise, right? Those of you who've listened to me for a long time, you know my heart gravitates towards military veterans to help them share their stories. Well, today we have a guy on here, Marine Corps veteran named Santiago Rodgil, right?
Yes. One L. Remember, my mom can't afford the other L.
Yeah, there you go, you guys. And he goes by ECommBullDog. So every time I see his number pop up on my phone, I'm like, hey, it's the Bulldog.
Thank you. ECommBullDog. Appreciate you having me on, first of all. The way we met, that's why I always like investing in myself. We met in a challenge. And from that challenge, the people in there you already gravitate to because we're in the same frequency, same mindset. So I appreciate you reaching out and, having me on so we can have a great conversation.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really, really happy I took that challenge. You guys who are listening, you can go back into both of our social media, I'm sure, and see some things that we've posted on the High Income Skills Challenge. And I'll have links to that too in the notes. But it was a phenomenal challenge, and I'm always trying to level up. And Bulldog, I feel like that's how you are too.
Yeah, I think it's really started clicking when I started investing in myself just overall, from challenges to events to courses. Like, it never stops. And some people think that one course is going to make you, $1 million, right? That's the whole stigma. Like, me buy one course, that's going to make me a millionaire. And I know a lot of people that sell stuff like this, they might come off like that. And I think that's the biggest social media, downfall, right? I think one thing that I just made clear, like, look, I'm not going to promise you to make a millionaire. This might not work, but it will give you another skill that you can definitely monetize once you master something.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. I would like it if you would tell our listeners a little bit about yourself growing up, a little bit about your childhood and your young adult years, because I'm kind of curious with you being a military veteran. Sounds like you've liked challenges a lot, but I want to see how you were when you were a kid.
Awesome. So I actually was born in Peru. My mom brought me here when I was 2 months, and then back and forth from Peru here. Finally came back here when I was 5, and I stayed here, for the rest of my life, which I love. But so growing up, I grew up in Los Angeles, California. Grew up in a rough neighborhood. Gangs, and I would get beat up by a lot of gangs, and they wanted me to join the gang. My mom got fed up, and she's like, look, I got to get out of here. A lot of gunshots. And then so we lived in East Hollywood. That was the neighborhood. And then we went to Burbank. She piled up all her money and said, look, we're going to this neighborhood. And that's where it was a big change for me, because I was so used to Latin Hispanic community. And then I went to a predominantly white area where, like I told you, Santiago, everyone made fun of my name, kind of twisted it. Like, there was no basketball. It was all hockey, tennis. So I learned to play hockey. So grew up there, got up to 17, went through the wrong path. Also, just kind of doing things. I would go just party, wasn't really the best son. And my mom kind of like, look, I'm just fed up with you. And that's what made me join the Marine Corps. Joined the Marine Corps at 17. My mom had no issue signing that contract. She was like, where do I sign? I'll sign double just to make sure, you finish. And, I think the Marine Corps for me was overall the best thing that could happen to me because of, honor, courage, commitment, the value that they have. Joined the Marine Corps, met my beautiful wife, and went to 2 deployments to Iraq. I missed one of my son's birth because of a deployment. Came back and he was 3 months. He's 16 now. Definitely it still hits, when his birthday comes because I was never physically there, even though it was out of my control. I think that, if you're able to be there for your kid's birth, definitely, be there at all costs. And did that. And then through this phase in the Marine Corps, when I got out, did 9 years, got out, and then I wanted to become a law enforcement officer. I feel like a lot of Marines or military in general, they get out and like, what can we do? Okay, law enforcement will hire us like that. I went through this phase where law enforcement, like LAP didn't want to pick me up. A lot of agencies didn't want to pick me up because my credit was bad. You can go to war, come back, credit's not good. No, you're not a good fit. So did that, and then I was like, okay, let me see if there's something more to this. So I did the whole school thing. One of my buddies on Facebook kept on posting, oh, I just bought a new PS5 or PS2 at the time. And like, he's buying all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, bro, what are you doing? You're not working. Like, how are you getting money? And he goes, oh, the VA is paying me to go to school. And at that time, I was having 2 jobs. So to supplement one good, police officers get paid great, I had to do 2 jobs just to try to get that one income. And I was like, look, what if I change one job for school? Then maybe I can have weekends off, holidays off, right? Because school is on like kind of like a 9 to 5, weekends off kind of program. I was like, okay, cool, let me do that. Started going to school, not knowing what I wanted to do. Just kind of took classes to take classes and get that, that military compensation a month just to kind of help me stay afloat and see what I wanted. And then I took a lot of criminal justice classes, and then a program called the Warrior Scholar Program came, and that one was like, look, did you know you can go to school like Harvard, Yale, USC? And I didn't know what that was about. So I took the program, changed my whole philosophy on education, went through the program, got out, and then I applied at USC, and I got in. I got into the University of Southern California, and then I was pursuing law. That was my ultimate goal. Wanted to go to law school, really to want to make a change. And then I think I was going through the motions. I was going to school, but I think really I was going to school to make my mom happy. It wasn't really to make, my happiness, or maybe be the first one to graduate college. I think was a big thing for us because no one's graduated college. I was one of the first. And after that, I got into the entrepreneurship, e-commerce, my last year at USC, and I made 6 figures on e-commerce while going to school, while working. And I think that was kind of like, more mind-boggling, the fact that I made more than a 1-year attorney, and I still had to go to law school. I just got my degree in bachelor's of public policy and law. So, that's what started the whole entrepreneurship. I'm like, look, I'm going to go all in on this at all cost. So sorry for going through the little roller coaster, but yeah, that's how I ended up on entrepreneurship and how I changed my name from Ecom. I had Bulldog Sweat was my first name, and then I changed it to ECommBullDog, the bulldog of e-commerce, because of the Marine Corps.
Exactly. I know. I love that. Now, here's a question for you. Did you just wake up one day and you're just like, I'm going to do some e-com stuff? Like, most people don't even know where to start. How did you know where to start?
So what I did was, at my job, I worked graveyard, and I would watch so many YouTube videos on e-commerce, Shopify, because a lot of these people, they make it seem so easy. And if you're listening, it is not easy. I'm telling you right now, don't think that you can just launch a product and it's going to make you thousands. It doesn't work that way. But that's how I thought. I really thought that you can start a store, put a product up there from Alibaba, and then I can post it on my Instagram, and then sales, I'll be like, oh my God, please stop buying my stuff because it's too much. It doesn't work that way. So what I did learn was I mastered the website aesthetics because that's what I thought people would look at. I took multiple courses that would tell me is think of a Nike website and try to mimic that. And I'm like, okay. So I spent a lot of time on that. 2 things I should have spent on was the product and Facebook ads. If you're doing Shopify, the two things you only want to do is focus on the product. Does it solve a problem? Can I go to Walmart and pick it up? Can I go to Amazon and pick it up? These three things. If they don't have that, then you have a good product. I'm sorry. If it solves a problem, you have a great product, because everyone wants to, if you have a neck pillow that can solve someone's neck problem, okay, it solves a problem. If I can't go to Walmart and pick it up, that means it's a greater product. Someone wants it because they can't just physically go over there. And if they can't look it up on Amazon, even better. But what I learned was have a one product store back then when I was doing Shopify, because a lot of people have a short attention span. They go to your website. They don't want to be convoluted with so many other products. They want one website, one product, and then you can name it the proneckpillow.com. So you're like the only official, it makes you look more validated, right? As opposed to accessoriespillows.com, because then,
right,
it's an array of things. But that's what I learned. The .com is important because you have a good stamp of approval. They feel like you're the one that created the brand. And I spent $30,000 on ads, on Facebook ads, and I was able to make $120K on one cell phone case. The one thing that didn't sit with me was like, dude, I just spent, $30K on ads, and it wasn't even my money. It was an investor that let me borrow his card so I can leverage, because I had bad credit. I didn't really have that much capital, but I proved to him that I was able to make money from his investment. And that's how I was able to grow the brand. So, yeah.
So I keep hearing about this Alibaba. My daughter was actually talking about it, but what the heck is it?
So Alibaba so just so people understand, AliExpress is where you can buy one item at a time. Alibaba, you can buy a dozen or 24 at a time. So you get more of a wholesale deal. Mm-hmm. But remember, these products are coming from China. The fastest shipping times that you will get is probably like 14 days. Mm-hmm. People say 7 to 10 if you have a good supplier, but for the most part, 14 days is your average. So that's what I had to go through. People love my product. I was targeting the right people because I know who wanted those phone cases. I targeted Cardi B. So anyone, if you liked her profile, you were getting targeted. I targeted Harry Potter because the phone case had devil horns, so it had like this gothic feel. So I was like, okay, Harry Potter, boom. I targeted Beyonce, Kim Kardashian. So all these different influencers, I targeted them because if you like them, then you'll like my product. So their product my ad was plastered all over, their social media, and they were like, okay, cool, I want to buy. But the problem I ran into was I didn't know how to scale. I didn't know how to turn that product into a 7-figure brand. And that's where I kind of messed up. Because I think, and this is me, I could have been the next Casetify. Do you know what that brand is?
No, I don't. But I'm really bad at at keeping up.
Casetify is like just a cell phone brand, mm-hmm. but they pay influencers. Like they paid Kylie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like let's say $1 million to just take a picture with it, mm-hmm. with the mirror, and then people will zoom in and be like, oh, Casetify. So I had literally phone cases that my brand was called Envy Phone Cases. So if you were to look at the phone case, people would envy you because of the phone case. And I remember Jake Paul's girlfriend at the time had messaged me, hey, at like 2:00 in the morning, not me, the brand. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, dude, this is perfect. I forgot her name, but she could have definitely elevated the brand if I would have known how to, leverage the property, which I didn't. And then I fumbled that deal and I just, shut down the store. And then that's why it got me into Amazon.
Mm-hmm. So when, say somebody's interested in selling on Amazon, I actually have a friend I had lunch with the other day, and she wanted to start her own Amazon store. So I know one of my friends, he offers Amazon automation, but then what's the difference between hiring somebody to create all that for you? It seems like an awfully expensive investment for various reasons though. What's the difference between what they do and what you train on?
Yeah. So I think the automation is amazing because people that invest in automation, for me, are at a bigger scale where they can invest in that and then work on their other businesses, right? Because like people know average millionaire has 7 sources of income. By me saying I have an automation store, that's one source. What's your other businesses? Oh, I own, 2 other e-commerce stores, and I have my, dry cleaning business, right? Mm-hmm. So the automation, what is difference between me and automation is I mentor and consult people how they can manage their own personal store and then turn that into 4 sources of income.
What? How in the heck? Okay, so people have to take your training to find out what, but that's incredible. Yeah.
So pretty much I think it's like from now, if you're listening, like anything that you invest in, right, should give you a 10x return. And, what I mean by that is, if I give you $1, right, and this is for Myron Golden, if I give you $1 and you give me $1 and we do that all day, it's not really, we're wasting each other's time. Mm-hmm. But if I give, Patti $1 and she gives me 10 back, I'm going to do that every day. Like, hey, Patti, here's that $1. Mm-hmm. Give me 10 back. So when you have a product or you have a service, people are buying of not what the product costs, but of what potentially they can earn back. So in anything that you're doing, people are going to buy because the 1,000, the 2,000, the 3,000, they don't see that. They see the 20,000 or 30,000 they could potentially get back if they put in the work. So I'm going to share with you. So if I teach you how to build your own Amazon store, and within like the first 2 or 3 months, realistically, conservatively, making about 20 to 30K in sales, not profits, because the margins, Amazon charges you 15% off everything that you make. So if 30%, let's say 10,000, and they charge you 15%, right? You're going to get paid 8,500, and then Amazon takes those 1,500, and then from those 8,500, what's your profit? Depends on your margins of, because I'm listing high and I'm buying low. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I teach you how to do that, that is powerful because now you can help other people after your proof and you show your facts. Like, look, I've done this and I've helped other people do it. Now people will trust you and say, look, can you teach me what you do? Okay, and then it starts at a side hustle because some people are, willing to invest, side hustle, and then they get so like hooked. Where I just had another recent student quit his job and went all in on Amazon because he knew that his time was more valuable. You go work the 9 to 5, which is respectable. You're not really earning much of what you could potentially earn if you work for yourself. Mm-hmm. So from that one source, I teach him a high income skill. Okay. Then he has his own store. So he's managing his own store. And then he can make his own digital course, right? Good Zoom, hit record, and then teach people exactly what you do. Do not leave anything out. Don't hook them on just buy the course and then to get the mentorship. Give them everything. And then 3, have a consulting one-on-one if someone is just wants more private, more intimate, and is willing to spend more because they want faster results. Mm-hmm. And then 4th, you can automate that and start that automation business if you so choose. Mm-hmm. So from one source, earn 4 potentially.
Wow. So here's another question. What if you have an automated store already, but you still want to have your own store? Can you do that?
So per Amazon guidelines, you could only have 1 store per household.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if I have my store and if I wanted my wife to have her own store, she would have to call Amazon. Amazon would have to approve that. Mm-hmm. So if you have your one store, is like, let's say you're working on your store, is it automated?
Say I'm working on a store.
Okay, you're working on your store. Yeah. So for you to have your other store, it has to be approved by Amazon. And personally, I mean, if you have a husband and wife and she really wants to get in on it, you could do it. But if it's not approved by Amazon, don't even risk it because you will get shut down. You'll get deactivated.
Yeah. What happens if you can only order, say, 50 phone cases? And then you put it on Amazon. I'm assuming that they allow you to put how many of the cases you have. So they don't try to, so it's not trying to sell to 200 people and you only have 50 phone cases that you are able to order.
So what I do, just to make it clear, and I drop ship. So that means I don't buy the product until they buy it from me.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't hold inventory. I don't, it's just pretty much like, let's say if I list a microwave that costs 200 that I'm getting for 130, okay? I list it for 200, so Amazon charges me 15% off those 200, which becomes 170. And then if I get it for 130 plus tax, if you're paying tax, because you could be tax exempt, you ends up paying like, let's say 140. So you might profit $30 from one product, but you're paying that money up front because you're paying that retailer.
Okay. That's interesting. So I have an apparel line, and I'll talk to you more about that later because I might be interested in making an Amazon store. I think that we could really leverage that.
Personally, I wouldn't do a brand on Amazon.
Okay.
I would do that on Shopify.
Okay. Yeah, my store is on Shopify. So okay.
Yeah, because Amazon keeps the customer.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I won't have access to them. Like Jeff Bezos has done a way where you have the phone number that they provide. It's a generic number with an extension, like Uber. Like you will never be able to call that same driver.
Okay.
You can just call them through the extension, and then same thing with the email. Every email you send a customer is duplicated, so Amazon has their receipt, and you can't tell them, "Hey, go to Patti.com to buy this product better." Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm pretty sure some other people would have had that same question. Now, what advice would you give to somebody who they do want to start an Amazon store, or they're thinking about it? Obviously, they should go to your website, to your social media. Where do they go to find out more information about it?
Thank you. I think personally, if you want to get started on Amazon, it's a less risk business and a high reward. What I mean by that is you're literally paying $39.99 per month to start a store on Amazon, right? A lot of people, you don't have to hold inventory. You don't have to open a store, like physical store, and have a lot of overhead. All you literally do is, set up your store, which all you need is your bank statement, California ID, and, you can do it from your home. So it takes about 3 to 4 days for them to set up their store. And then you're able to either they send you a postcard so Amazon can make sure you live there, get the postcard, and you put it on the website, on the sign up page. So when you put in that link, then they grant you access into your store, and then you're able to list products. But to answer your questions, so after the challenge, right? we were on that challenge.
Yeah.
And, pretty intense, especially where I was going. So I don't offer the course anymore.
Oh, okay.
So my link is still ECommBullDogs.com. So I completely shut down the course. And the reason I did that was because since I partnered up with the AMZ Snagger, we're building more of a mentorship platform on a bigger scale. So what I mean by that is I think it waters down the course, and then people pay and they don't pay attention enough. So we're doing this on a premium value, which to be successful on Amazon, you need to have an app like AMZ Snagger because it's going to do the work for you. And we live in a society where we want to become less lazy and gain more of the rewards in everything, right? Like from here, 5 years from now, everything's going to be like, hey, Alexa, order me, this from Walmart, even more. Like now it's going to be, everything's going to be more speak into to whatever. But yeah, okay, Alexa, you didn't say nothing.
My Alexa went off too. I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah, but I mean, I love Alexa though.
I do too. I love her. It's so. Another thing that I noticed that you have listed on your links is something about NFTs. What do you do with that?
Okay, cool. So, shout out to my son Damien because he's the one that told me about NFTs 7 months ago, and I didn't pay him attention. And he said, Dad, NFTs, they're the future, Dad. You should really look into that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And even when he told me, I thought he was crazy by saying, why is someone going to pay, $500, $1,000, $100 for a picture of an art? And it goes deeper than that. It goes more of like you're investing in the community. You're investing in the access that community is giving you. Also, you're investing in the influencer who developed it or the artist. So right now, just to put in perspective, so NFT stands for non-fungible token. It's a form of, so right now you can only buy it through crypto, Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, you can buy it, but I bought all mine through Ethereum. And you just go to OpenSea.com and you're able to purchase this digital work. But it's not just about just going there and just typing a random, brand and just buying the NFT. It's more doing your homework on what that NFT offers, right? I think everyone is caught up on like how many Twitter followers they have. Is their Discord active? Is their Instagram active? Like all these are components to kind of give more validity. Like, oh, it's a good, brand that's going to blow up. Right. So like the CryptoPunks, which are the number one right now, if you go on OpenSea.com in rankings, the reason they're number one is because they're the first ever NFTs that started in 2017. So you wonder, like, it's like holding a piece of real estate that you bought in 2017 for like, let's say $200. And now they're worth upwards of 150 to 200,000 on the low end. And then these big influencers like, Jay-Z or Wolf of Wall Street, they want to buy this so they can be like, look, I'm Wolf of Wall Street. I have a CryptoPunk. So I have money. It's more of like that. Because I wouldn't be surprised if like in 5 years from now or 10 years from now, I Google Patti and then I can see your digital assets. What do you own digitally, right? Besides your house and stuff like that. Like, it goes more to that. And a lot of people have this like social, I guess, they want that social status, but what they own. That's why a lot of people put it as their profile pictures, right? The apes are real popular, but it just gets more of like, they want to get more popular because of what they own, right? Like a status symbol. But I feel like if you're the first in anything, you're going to reap more of the rewards. Like if you were a Facebook ad in the beginning, you're definitely going to be one of the people that shine. But yeah, I mean NFTs, it's easy to Google, YouTube everything, do some homework. But if you're able to buy one or two, you're like in the game. Now, if those flop, you know what to do though. Now like, oh, I'm not going to buy the floor price. I'm going to buy the ones that are rare. Whatever it is, you're learning from execution. And a lot of people, they're scared to start because it's not perfect. And like one of the quotes that I really live by is, "Done is better than perfect because perfect never gets done."
Yes,
that is really big because 4 words that people will that are deadliest is, what will they say? I'm sure when you started your podcast, people were just talking. Like, what is she doing? She probably has no clue what she's doing. Why is she doing that? Like, but then, you've proved them wrong. You stayed in the game despite all hurdles. And I think that's bigger. Like sticking with something despite what people will say, I think it's hard, right? Like I get a lot of shit because I'm big, and it's like, I got my own inner demons that I battle, but I just don't let it get in the way. I still execute and I still want to help others, and kind of like I had people that bought my course back then when it was open, and like literally they were like, "Look, I enjoyed your course, but you provided something for me that was bigger." And I think it was the fact that I invested in your course made me allowing to invest in other things. Because of you, I opened a bank account, and I was like, really? I'm like, damn, okay. So for me, it's not like if you're successful on Amazon or not. The thing is, I want to open up your mindset. We live in a world where everyone has a fixed mindset and a growth mindset, right? Fixed is, oh, I can't do it. I have kids. I can't do it. I have, I'm an at-home wife or something like that. Whatever it is, people go through that. But if you have a growth mindset, oh, I want to do it. Look, Patti, she's doing it. I want to be like Patti. I want to be able to do it. So I think that is more powerful. So having a growth mindset will change the way you see things.
That's very true. Huge. So real quick, before we wrap it up, I always ask all of my guests, if you could name one trial? I know you've had a lot of trials in your life, but what's one trial that was a little bit difficult for you, or very difficult, either one, for you to overcome? And how did you overcome it? Or are you still overcoming that problem?
That's a great question. And I think like a lot of entrepreneurs go through this. I think it's more of like, I had my car repossessed. I had my house almost got foreclosed. I literally I didn't know what a red notice was until it got in the mail. Like literally a red notice saying that your house is going to be, foreclosed on this date, if you don't pay. So at that time, I was kind of like, what am I doing? Why am I not successful yet? I've been doing e-commerce. At that time, it was like 2 years, 2.5 years. But remember, most businesses flop within the first 2 to 3 years of business. Entrepreneurs, like people think it's an overnight success, but it really takes about 10 years for them to really grow and shine.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think overcoming that, right? Like telling my wife that the car was going to be okay, which really was not. We're going to be okay with the house, which, I was already 3 months behind, and it really hurt, right? And to really pursue, to really keep on going, that was kind of like the biggest obstacle, the biggest battle. And I think what I had to do was, okay, I had to really stick to my guns and master and keep on mastering what I was good at.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Amazon thing. Keep on grinding, keep on getting better on Amazon, finding new ways, innovative ways to make it more profitable, right? If I'm doing 4 hours, I got to put 8 hours, no matter what. Like going through that, knowing that my car got repoed and we almost lost our house, I think for me was the biggest like obstacle that I had to like just keep pushing, because I could have easily quit. And by me doing that, I wouldn't be on, the podcast with you. I wouldn't be partnered up with, the best app on Amazon right now. And then like so many things, right? And I think a lot of people, they give up after their first 6 months, or I didn't make no money, but how much really are you investing in? How much time are you giving in? Like it all comes in. You really think about it. Like, is it worth it? Is it not? Doubt comes in, family just talking, right? So many things, like, that's why I made this shirt, right? So it's drug dealer. People either think if you have money, I'm Hispanic, so they think, hey, you must be a drug dealer. Quitter, just because people think you quit at everything. I'm not a quitter, but, I'm an entrepreneur. And I think it's entrepreneurs, it's really about helping others, but you want to be, financially set where I don't want to go to the grocery store. I don't want my wife to go to I don't want to do my own laundry. That's a different that's where I see my vision. And I think that's what, my wife deserves, my kids deserves. But at the same time, show them a foundation. Like, I don't, it's not easy for my kid to come up to me and ask me for money, because I make sure, his grades are on point, or look at the house and there's something you got to fix it, and then come at me with something that you want.
Yes.
Rather than just, coming at me and say, Dad, let me get some money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But, that's how we raised our kids too. All of them bought their own cars, and we've really enforced that into them. So where can everybody find you on social media?
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. So on Instagram, I'm ECommBullDog across the board. The website, ECommBullDogs.com, but right now no one can buy anything. It's just pretty much, we're working on something great. Should be coming out within a few weeks. But ultimately, if you're listening, I really feel like digital real estate is something key. So even if you have no intention of starting a Twitter, but open it up in your own name, what you do is your Instagram. So now when someone Googles you, there's more of a trust factor. The fact that you have a Twitter under your same name as Instagram or Snapchat, or even the NFT OpenSea, you can look at my name, ECommBullDog, and you can see I'm like the third one up, and you can see what artwork I have. But it's more of like that digital real estate. People don't really understand it until they realize, like, hey, this social media thing, can work, and I'm able to monetize something that I do for fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So hopefully, if you're listening, please create a course of something that you're passionate about, and definitely don't create it because you like it. Create it because there's a necessity in the market for you. to actually can monetize it, if that makes sense.
Amen. So if you're listening, please make sure you go over to ECommBullDog and follow him. I especially like his Instagram. I'm a little biased on that. It's very interesting and upbeat. And you're going to learn some awesome things. He drops some major gems on his show and on his show. I call it your show. It might as well be. He has all these videos on there. It's super cool, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for listening, and be sure to tune in again next Friday. And until then, be sure to listen up on all the past episodes if you missed any of them, and go follow ECommBullDog. Thank you for listening, and have an amazing rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening.
Thank you for listening to Wake Up with Patti Catter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do.
Follow Patti at Patti Catter on Facebook and Instagram.
Get social.
You can now watch Wake Up with Patti Catter on Amazon TV and Roku.
It's the only podcast I listen to.
Be sure to check out Patti's apparel line, The Patriotic Mermaid, at thepatrioticmermaid.com and on social media at The Patriotic Mermaid.
I love it.